Hello, everyone, and welcome to Danvers Daily. I am so excited to show you the volunteers of DCAT here today, and we're so excited to talk about what we did last Friday, where we went out into the world and filmed the beautiful nature of Endicott Park. Did we have fun or what?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We had a lot of fun.
I want to ask you guys a couple of questions, more than a couple, because you know me, I like to ask these questions. But what is the most important thing about filming outside, especially at Endicott Park? Anyone have any answers for me?
I think one of the most important things that I learned, okay, is to have a plan. Okay, for instance, somewhat be familiar with the site and have a plan about where you want to go and what you want to film.
And I think that with the plan comes with so many different directions you can go in. And I think that it's a way to be organized to film outside and also kind of create that story for someone, right, Jim?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And my other question is what was the most difficult thing about filming at Endicott Park that you might have learned?
Well, it was the first time carrying the equipment, and I found it was heavy. And so along with the planning, you want to know exactly where you're going to go and set up.
Yeah.
The other thing that was difficult was filming in the sunlight, a lot of glaze on the screen or glare. And so it was hard to really know what you were filming.
And what is the process like when it comes to filming at Endicott Park or anywhere? I mean, there's a process that really goes into it.
Well, in terms of, deciding which area each one of us would take, I know I was gravitating right toward the animals, and I knew that I'd need my camera to be stationary on the tripod because those chickens that I was after were not.
Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting as we went on through the day to think about what will this look like as a finished product?
Right.
And how would it be interesting to the viewer?
Right. Isn't it interesting as well, like when you're filming, you're not really thinking about the finished project, you're just filming to film. But I think maybe what we've learned, honestly, is you have to think about the story that you're wanting to tell and how to go about it to create that story. Let's talk a little bit about that story process and how can we engage with the audience, before we even create the story. It's a difficult concept to really think about, but when you look at a different perspective and you look at the story from behind the scenes, you can kind of go, yeah, maybe I want to do a story or a video on animals, or maybe I want to do a video on the nature part of things. Talk to me a little bit about the idea of the story that maybe you thought of when you were filming.
Well, I took it from the angle of my opening shot was the opening entrance of Endicott Park. Okay, I wasn't all that familiar with it. Okay, and anticipating that perhaps some of the audience was not that familiar with it, I kind of approached it from, okay, here is the entrance to it, and then pan over to the driveway, okay, past the guard's desk, and then to basically the opening of the rest of the park.
Absolutely. And we have some pictures, so let's get those pictures up so we can see kind of our day at Endicott Park, a beautiful view of Endicott Park right there.
It was a beautiful day, too.
Oh,
It was absolutely stunning.
Perfect weather that day.
Yeah,
I guess
'cause-
that's why someone had a wedding at
Yes.
Glen Magna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And there's Claire right there. That was a fun experience as we saw one of the turtles
Huge.
in the water. It was big. It was a big turtle. There's Beverly capturing the moments of nature. And there's Jim talking about the sign at Endicott Park. A beautiful sign, really, to kind of
Gorgeous
bring
entrance.
you right into a story of Endicott Park. And then there's all of us together at the end of the day. Hard work and dedication came along with it, and a great photo finish, like I like to say. It was just an awesome time, and I honestly had a great time with everyone. You can put that down now. I had a really good time with everyone just willing to just jump ahead and try something new. And I think that you guys should all be proud of yourself, because it doesn't just take one camera, it takes a whole crew, and it takes the volunteers. And I want to know maybe something that you have learned, maybe you can teach other volunteers that maybe want to join us on the next journey. Who knows where we're going to go? You know, because October's coming up. We could, you know, see some fall leaves and maybe take another trip to Endicott Park during the fall. Topsfield Fair would be a great one as well.
I mean, the seasonal changes that you would find in a park around here.
Oh, yeah.
We could go in every season and see something a little bit different.
Yeah, that'd be
Probably.
that'd be awesome. So maybe you could talk about what you've learned that you can teach the volunteers, maybe that are interested in joining the volunteer crew and are welcome to join the volunteer crew.
Well, one of the things that I want to offer is the fact that we've been playing together as a team lately. You know, Jack, did you ever think that you'd be hanging around with a bunch of senior citizens?
No, but I
Well,
love
we
it.
always have fun together. And I think each of us taking a different aspect. At first I thought it would be a combined video, but the fact that we're each doing a separate track. You know, at first I thought that I'd have to do a lot of footage, a lot all over the place. But then I realized that the more that you concentrate in one area, the more that you see of it. Like I had two ducks that were off in the distance, and they had this ritual where one would dip their head down, the other one would. And I thought, gee, what does that mean? I wonder what they're saying to each other. And I'm sure that visitors to Endicott have observed that and had the same question.
Good point.
Yeah, when you can slow down like that and really focus on something, you notice a lot more than if you're just walking through.
And
Just
maybe, Beverly, you could talk about what you've learned that you can teach some of the volunteers, because there's many different things that all of us learn, even myself, taking photos, which you'll be able to see on some of these videos coming soon. Maybe you can talk about, you know, what you've learned and how can you teach someone else that is looking to be a volunteer at DCAT.
Well, as Claire alluded to, I think that we did form a team. We've done things in the studio, so we had some time to learn some basics before we went in the field. But I think we were quite ready to go in the field and do something completely new and different. I would just say welcome to anyone who wants to join us, first in the studio and then in the field. I think we're all just learning as we're going along anyway.
Yeah, and I think
we don't have to know everything ahead of time.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what's so good about having Jack with us all the time.
I appreciate that. I also think that, you know, we're in the studio, we do Danvers Daily all together majority of the time, and it's interesting to step outside in the real world and say, okay, what are we going to film next? And just kind of run with it. Jim, maybe you could talk a little bit about that experience.
What I found interesting is that each one of us approached it from a different personal angle.
Yeah.
Okay, my angle was different from Beverly's, was different from Claire's, and I think that when and if we put it together, okay, we will be able to see, okay, the different approaches to the whole park. Okay, so that's what I found interesting.
And interestingly enough, we're going to put this video together for everyone to see and see what the volunteers have created in the process of just filming and then going to the editing room and editing the footage. So, you know, stay tuned for that. We're not going to give you the date of that yet, but stay tuned and it will be out for everyone to see. And also some of the photos that I took, I don't really take photos. I'm usually in front of the camera and or behind the scenes of the camera editing. So it was a very different perspective from my point to see kind of what they're filming and how can I capture it in a way that I can help them along the process. So we want to thank you so much for watching Danvers Daily today, and we hope that you join the DCAT volunteer crew, and we hope to see you next time right here on Danvers Daily, helping behind the scenes or in back of the camera. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time, Danvers.
Bye.
Bye.